So today I'll talk about the black rhinoceros by Cristina Arañas. So the black rhinoceros, or Diceros Bicornis, is a massive double-horned species that has grayish rather than black skin coloring. These independent animals typically live in damp forests, desert, shrublands, savanna, and grassland habitats of Africa, from South Africa and Tanzania to Zimbabwe and beyond. As of 2012, black rhinoceros have been assigned as critically endangered population status by the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species. The black rhinoceros interact very little with the environment. Although it do not do much, the rhinoceros still continues to contribute to its ecosystem environment. For example, the rhinoceros fecal matter helps fertilize the soil, but the rhino does not directly interact with many other species. Moreover, the rhinoceros are well known for being endothermic because they are mammals. The black rhino is considered a primary consumer, given that it extensively eats primary producers. Although the adults are large enough to not worry about predators, the young are preyed upon by hyenas and other predators in their environment. The rhino has poor eyesight and hearing, which makes the animal sensitive to threats. However, males are much more territorial than females. Moreover, the black rhino is listed as critically endangered, as the population of this species has declined by an estimate of 97.6% since 1960s, with numbers bottoming out at 2,410 in 1995, mainly as a result of poaching. Since then, numbers have been steadily increasing at the continental level, with number doubling to 4,880 by the end of 2010. Current numbers are, however, still 90% lower than 3 generations ago. Moreover, it's very important to point out that habitat change have contributed to population decline, but this is a secondary threat compared to poaching. In Zimbabwe, in southern Zimbabwe, private-owned rhino conservaries have been invaded by landless people. This reduces the amount of safe habitat for two large black rhino populations and increases the risk of poaching and snaring. It is well established that when populations become small and isolated, genetic, demographic, and environmental stochasticity increases the probability of extinction, making populations more vulnerable. However, unlike most large mammals, the black rhinoceros' main threat includes habitat loss and the legal trade of wildlife trophies. Nonetheless, habitat loss and other biological factors still remain as a factor with low significance in the decline of rhinoceros when compared to the poaching of these animals' horns, which has eventually decimated rhinos' population by a significant amount. Concerning external pressures, illegal wildlife trade is a main external pressure that contributes to the black rhino's current critical endangered status. Black rhinos have two horns, and occasionally a third, small posterior horn. The front horn is longer than the rear, which makes them lucrative targets for illegal trade in the rhino horn. Between 1970s and 1992, 96% of the Africa's remaining black rhinos were killed. European hunters are responsible for the early decline of black rhino populations. It was not uncommon for 5 or 6 rhinos to be killed in a day for food or simply for amusement. European settlers that arrived in Africa in the early 20th century to colonize and establish farms and plantations continued this senseless slaughter. Today, black rhinos continue critically endangered because of rising demand of rhinoceros horns, which has driven poaching to record levels. A recent increase in poaching in South Africa threatens to erase our conservation success. The increase is driven by a growing demand from some Asian consumers, particularly in Vietnam, for folk remedy containing rhinoceros horn. For instance, in 2014, a total of 1,215 rhinoceros were poached in South Africa, a 21% increase from the previous year. Moreover, following a decline in breeding performance in some areas, increased efforts have recently been given to improving biological management with a view to increase metapopulation growth rates. Increasing efforts are also being made to integrate local communities into conservation efforts, most notably in the Kunene region of Namibia. Strategically, black rhinos are managed by a range of different stockholders, private sectors, and states in a number of countries, increasing their long-term security. Examples of NGOs that are involved in the preservation of the black rhinoceros is the International Rhino Foundation, founded in 1989 in response to the dramatic declines in the black rhino population numbers in Zimbabwe and South Africa. At that stage, it was called the International Black Rhino Foundation and was most effective in doing away with almost all poaching and establishing the black rhino population. However, it soon became clear that all rhino species face enormous challenges and threats, not only the black rhino species. Other NGO involved in this similar concern would be the Worldwide Fund of Nature. The WWF is an NGO that has launched an international effort to save wildlife in 1961, rescuing black rhinos, among many other species, from the brink of extinction. Conservation efforts have helped the total number of black rhinos grow from 2,410 in 1995 to 4,880 in 2010. As one of the advocates in this NGO said once, we work to stop poaching, increase rhino populations, improve law enforcement, and tackle the illegal rhino trade. Finally, it's important to point out that rhinos are one of the oldest groups of mammals, virtually living fossils. They play an important role in their habitats, and in countries like Namibia, rhinos are an important source of income for ecotourism. Their protection of black rhinos create large blocks of land for conservation purposes. This benefits many other species, including elephants. For this and much more reasons, it's of great importance for humans to continue improving the current status of the black rhinoceros. Factors that would help improve the black rhino status could be continuing incentivizing the conservation of this species through the means of expanding existing protected areas and improving their management, establishing new protected areas, translocating rhinos to create a secure, viable new population, improving security monitoring to protect rhinos from poaching, improving local and international laws enforcement to stop the flow of rhino horns, and finally promoting well-managed wildlife based on tourism experiences that will provide additional funding for conservation efforts.